what was or what has been the hardest lesson for you to learn as a Christian in your walk with God? For me, it has been walking by faith. I know you may say, we are all learning to walk by faith. But let me give you a back-end story. So I will consider myself as a child who grew up protected. We're not allowed to go out. Everything that I needed as a child was always provided by my father. So the tiniest of things that we need, he will provide it as long as you ask. Even when you don't ask, when you notice that okay, this person needs something, he gets it for you, done. So it made me build so much trust in my father, and I found it hard to reciprocate that same trust in God. That moment when you pray, Lord, please provide for my need, and the next thing I'm texting my father and saying that I need this thing, because I'm like, if God no quickly do fast, because I didn't have a large circle, so I'm wondering who does God want to use to provide for this need. I'm like, I have one sure way. So I will just reach out to my father after reaching out to God and message him that I need this thing, and sure enough, he would provide it. But then God began to take me on a journey of faith, and it became so hard to message my father to ask for something. At some point, he was like, Kenny, you are not asking for anything. Hope all is well. Because even he was concerned. And I'm like, all is well. Baba, you cannot understand. I'm going through a particular process in God. At a point, it felt like there was no way anywhere. Literally, like everything was shut. And I had to look only up to God. There was, at a point, I remember having my devotion one day, and I was in tears crying, and the only thing I was saying is, Lord, I look up to the hills from whence cometh my help. I look up, and that was literally the only prayer I could pray, looking up to the hills from whence cometh my help, because God had to bring me to a point where I died to looking to men, because I can't look up to God and look down to men at the same time. Until my eyes is focused, my body cannot be full of light. It is not like I am perfect in my faith walk. Far from it. I am far from perfect in my faith walk. But I have seen how that God shows up in unexpected ways. In ways that I cannot imagine. Outside or beyond my circle, where I feel like provision is going to come from, God always provides it. It got to a point where I started borrowing money. Once I'm like, God provide this, and God's not providing, boom, I'm not interested in asking my father, let me not go cook and borrow money. I borrow money so much that at some point I have to give myself a sense and say, are you a bastard? Which kind? And this is a topic for another day. God had to give me an instruction, which I obeyed, and all my debts were miraculously cleared. You cannot take better care of yourself than the one who has called you, than the one who knows you. So, dear child of God, irrespective of what phase you are in your walk with God, what lessons that you are struggling to learn, where you feel inadequate, you feel like you're not doing as you ought to, understand that through it all, God is with you in that journey. Jude chapter number 1 verse 24 says that unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory. It is the God who is able to keep us faultless. So don't rely on your own strength. It is not easy. Our faith, our Christian walk is hinged on our faith walk with God, literally. So if you are finding hard to trust in God, you've trusted God and you feel like God has disappointed, know that God is always faithful. He is faithful. He is full of faith, irrespective of what we do or what we do not do. He is faithful. Hebrews 12 verse 1 calls it the evidence of things not seen. So even when we are not seeing it, it doesn't remove the fact that God is faithful. Is faithful. So wherever you are in your journey with God, lean on Him and let Him take you through it. It might not be easy. You might be used to a particular way of life and you're finding hard to let go. Lean on the Lord and see Him help you. God is your strength.